So I'm Len Bowen. I'm a MC from Winnipeg. I've been doing music for a couple decades now. I started out doing house parties in basements, battling people, rewriting other people's songs until I got comfortable in my own skin doing my own thing. Over the course of a couple decades, I've pumped out a lot of music. It's something that lives inside of me, and when I'm not making music, I don't feel alive. You know what I mean? Once again, I find myself revisiting humble beginnings. It's funny how this song came together. It was actually one of the last ones I wrote for my project, Nothing for Granted. And it ended up being the first song on the whole record. So take it in. I hope you feel what I felt when I wrote it. We're in the world famous Play the Record store in Toronto. I go by the name of Len Bowen. I got my brother Tough Dumplin holding me down. We're gonna get into my new project, Nothing for Granted. Shout outs to Eugene, my brother Wayne in the building. Gonna have some fun. Nothing for granted. Got on Nina Simone, feeling good, it's a new day. Blow tomorrow, anything you do or say, the new wave. Pledge to myself, promise wouldn't break. Wouldn't talk me off the ledge, took a leap of faith. Heard was a stretch, goals I'm reaching for. Well, if it ain't to be the best, what else I'm being for? My life scanning all the pieces on the chessboard. Always make sure my best move when I step forward. Don't wanna wind up like could've been, should've been, would've been. Wanna see you do well, but not as good as them. Saw the hunger in the youngster, they took him in. Everything clear from the outside, looking in. Can't buckle before they latch on. No, you gotta leave, get your rap and come back before they catch on. Didn't know what I was walking into. Vultures hovering, careful what they talk you into. Saying no strings attached, what they got you into. Lips moving fast, talk sharp as Ginsu. They was in his camp, not his corner. Became a lone soldier, tapped hands with no closure. More calm, cool, collected than he ever been. His no sweat still brought the heat he said he brings. Better respect every second, minute, hour. Nowadays, lucky if you live to get your flowers. Land.
Lucky if you live to get your flowers.
Tough Dumplin in the building. We're just warming up.
Len Bowen, my man Len Bowen. Growing up in Winnipeg, we already had this hip-hop swagger in our DNA. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it came from our dads. Both our dads were heavy in the party scene in the 80s growing up. They used to all hang out at the Jam Hall, the Jamaican Association of Manitoba. My dad was a DJ there, and that's where a lot of those guys hung out, had a good time, and they had that West Indian swag. They had that Caribbean flavor. So I think, guys like Len Bowen and myself got that flavor from them, because we had that swag long before we even knew what hip-hop was, or long before the hip-hop business side of things had entered Winnipeg. In Winnipeg, we didn't have infrastructure coming up. We just didn't have a foundation to walk on. We literally had to build that foundation ourselves. There were no managers to take care of us. There were no agents to book shows for us. We had to do all that ourselves. There were no other entrepreneurs or teachers to show us the way. There were barely any producers. We were jacking for beats long before Ice Cube was doing that. Me personally, my crew, Mood Rough, we had a karaoke machine at home. So we would use that karaoke machine to record demos. I'm not sure, like, Len Bowen and Shades, how they would record demos, man. It was a very difficult thing to do in the early days because to get into a studio was almost impossible. All the rock acts were using up the studios, and to be honest, they didn't really consider us real artists. We finally got into a studio owned by Chris Bergafni. He was managing McMaster and James at the time. You may or may not remember the pop duo McMaster and James out of Winnipeg. Well, we used to use their studio after they would leave in the day. They treated their studio like a 9 to 5, you know. So then after they would leave for the day and have their office hours, they'd hand us the keys and then allow us to use the studio for as long as we want, as long as we'd hand back the keys the next morning at 9 a.m. We'd stay there all night just working on our craft. It was a wonderful experience, but we had to teach ourselves everything. There was no lessons. We were literally trailblazers in Winnipeg. We eventually just got into this DIY world, and we managed ourselves. We booked our own tours. We were rolling. If you know, we didn't have anyone to help us out, so we really figured out how to make this thing work. We were glued to Much Music. Back then, Much Music had 30 minutes a day for us. Rap City was a 30-minute show. To think that we had to run home from school to watch Rap City and catch that 30 minutes. And it wasn't even full 30. It's probably like 22 because of the ads. That's how much hip-hop on the television we got a day. Back in the day, a lot of those rock cats used to call Winnipeg The Peg. I hated that name. The Peg sounds so boring to me. So we implemented the name Peg City. We were the ones that coined that term. Peg City, still using it today. I think it has much more flavor than the Peg. That's my personal opinion. But Len Bowen, he had this way of putting words together, very similar to Nas. Len Bowen was the only MC back then that we had to play his verses like 2-3 times just to catch everything. He was very slick, very decisive with putting words together, putting rhymes together.
Man, I went through a lot of emotions making this record. I guess you could say I'm still on this journey of self-discovery, working on my creative process. Yo, I've been mastering peace. Did it on purpose for myself, creating a masterpiece. I've been working on myself. Throw me in, sink or swim, won't avoid mistakes. Being strong, only choice you could afford to make. Set feelings aside for the best out. Could pick him up what he done for the time I can't outrun. Dudes he took off within one steady, landed with labels. Tried to stamp it with growth, felt like abandonment. Proud of his flaws and his scars, sure they left a few marks. How you manage the damage is what sets you apart. Work in progress and seeing our past healing. Seeing sky's the limit, I shattered the glass ceiling like rock. No, these ops can't shake them. Friends lost a few along the way and he made some years in the making. How long did it take him? City room formed, knowing far that he came from. Solid as a rock, no, these ops can't shake him. Friends lost a few along the way and he made some years in the making. How long did it take him? City room formed, knowing far that he came from. Same click till the wheels fall off, so we rollin' with. From where the L's and the dubs are disproportionate. We want that better life, still trying to get ahead in life. Recipe for success, trying to get it right. They tried, couldn't put out that fire inside of me. I need time, breathe, that poet society. Story I heard, if you feel them, only reason to doubt it was ever right when I believed them. Solid as a rock, no these ops can't shake him. Friends lost a few along the way and he made some years in the making. How long did it take him? City rooting for him, knowing far that he came from. Solid as a rock, no these ops can't shake him. Friends lost a few along the way and he made some years in the making. How long did it take him? City rooting for him, knowing far that he came from. Len, yeah, Len. How long did it take him? City rooting for him, knowing far that he came from.
This is Rod Bailey, aka Big Mcenroe, aka Mcenroe, aka Roddy Rod, aka Roddy Rod, the microphone god, and I am the main guy behind Peanuts and Corn Records, along with my friends from Farm Fresh, TJ Hunnicut and Pip's Kid. And I want to talk about Len Bowen today. You know, we started making music in the early 90s, and I moved to Winnipeg, and my group Farm Fresh was making music, and I was making moves in Winnipeg. I met a guy named Eli who was in a group called Move Rough at a club one night. I think it was at like Alternative Night. And I met him, and he said he had a rap group and he was looking for a producer. I said, I'm a producer. I make beats for a group called Farm Fresh. And what happened was the very next day, another guy who called himself Garfield at the time, Odario, called me up and came over to my place to check out the music that I was making. And I was making beats on a SO1 sampler. Actually, before that, I was making pause tapes, making beats with a little Gemini sampler. So I met Mood Rough at that time, and we started working together. And very shortly after that, I met Len Bowen. His group was called Different Shades of Black. But every band, every group has to have an engine, someone who's really pushing forward and motivated. And Len was definitely that guy. Len did the work, always showed up, would pick up the phone, make things happen, you know, ask you what we had to do to make things happen. And he was great to work with. I always thought he was hardworking and motivated and talented. You know, the whole group was talented. You know, I think they outgrew Peanuts and Corn, my little label, which was basically run out of my bedroom on 808 Fleet. You know, I was going to school. I didn't have much income. I was living check to check and tape to tape. So we would press a bunch of tapes by hand. I would dub them myself to save money on duplication, and we would sell the tapes. Infamously, what happened was, I guess somehow I sent them to Toronto with tapes that I had neglected to dub, and so they ended up trying to sell blank tapes in Toronto, which was a disaster after a big show that they did. They showed up at my door very unhappy, understandably. He was the driving force behind Shades, as far as the guy who does the legwork, shows up, organizes things, has a vision.
Being an artist from Winnipeg, Canada, I feel like we've still got so much more to prove in and outside of the city. There's so much talent here, and I think it's way overdue for us to be a part of the conversation on a national level. Good thing is, there's a lot of us out here working towards that, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's coming soon. This one's called Late to the Party.
Kingston Sound.
Alright.
We're getting loose on this one. 204, what he rapping?
Can't control.
Chili City.
Kingston Sound.
Alright.
Act like you know. Yeah, turn the pace, new song and dance. Stand and settle for himself, boy, they got the chance. 204 when he rapping, if you late, sits a body, no one coming in second. Late to the party, first out the city, it might be. Don't seem likely, put a weight on y'all to green light me. Looking back how it started, how we doing the jewel was forget what they saying, watch how they moving. He's showing proving, know what I'm here for. Tidal wave approaching, no time to prepare for. Y'all regular, don't move me, can't spar with him far from a cactus. Extra in the movie, starring in.
Kingston Sound.
So am I, put him on. So am I, put him on.
Kingston Sound.
So am I, put 'em up. Throw 'em up, put 'em up. Still in the race, gaining, picking up pace. Not your favorite, underrated, I'm building a case. Get it where you fit, wear it if the shoe fit. Land a one-to-one, can't duplicate the blueprint. Politicking as usual, reasonable doubt. Can I live? Let me guess, still feeling them out. Fuck away from where he's at, why they rock with him. Care less about the stats, just want to win. Throw 'em up, put 'em up. 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 Winnipeg in the building. Len Bowen. Nothing for granted. Rocking out with Tough Dumplin. Throw 'em up, put 'em up.
Wagwan people, the boy from Jamaica, Kingston, Tough Dumplin. You know some there. Talking about Len Bowen. Now, before we get to Len Bowen, I gotta bring you back. So, the first time I went to Winnipeg was to do a show with Jeru the Damager and Mood Rough. I think Odario organized the whole thing. And I remember going to Winnipeg for the first time, not knowing what I was gonna enter. Just because, you know, it's like, I'm in Toronto, so everybody's like, Toronto's the Mecca. So you go somewhere else, you kinda, especially if it's in Canada, you kinda second guess it. Yo, let me tell you, the party rocked. Everybody out in Winnipeg was going wild. And I remember just like, yo, they got a dope ass scene out here. One of the big projects we landed back in the day was a Len Bowen and Mood Rough track that was for a movie soundtrack called How She Moves. And that movie was worldwide. And I remember just seeing the names and the credit on the soundtrack, and the song was in the movie too. I think that was one of the biggest, you know, Winnipeg projects that I worked on. Len Bowen album, every track on there is unique, but everything is still cohesive. And I remember just being in the studio, kind of just figuring out how I want the bass to hit, how I want the kick to hit, how I want the snare to hit. Definitely check out the Nothing for Granted album. Len Bowen's always doing it up. So big up everybody in Winnipeg, throwing it down.
This last record is simply about never giving up on yourself, following through, making it to the finish line through all of the trials and tribulations and ups and downs you go through. With that being said, let's toast up. Let's toast up. We ain't asking, we take it. We going out, shoulder putting out. Ain't asking, we take it. Ain't asking, we take it. Y'all know what he about. How we going out, shoulder putting out. Man, they showing out. Ain't asking, we take it. Y'all know what he about. How we going out, shoulder putting out. Man, they showing out. Ain't asking, we take it. Ain't asking, we take it. I couldn't walk away, couldn't let it be. This one for everything they said he'd never be. Till the pressure never caved it. What didn't break or made him. Look what y'all created. I couldn't walk away, couldn't let it be. This one for everything they said he'd never be. Till the pressure never caved it. What didn't break or made him. Look what y'all created. Land Raising toast to all he been through good old days. Rain goes, canopy was also simple. Make y'all believe it's no breathers. Ain't no load management. See what he established, you court side to the bleachers. Call them news and sick. They turning back to watch. Feel like Curry for a chip. He turning back the clock. Y'all know the cloth he cut from ain't nothing fabricated. Bound for greatness, every verse an affidavit. Y'all know what he about, how we going out, showed up unannounced, mad and showing out, ain't asking we take it. Ain't asking we take it.
Y'all know what he about, how we going out, showed up unannounced,
Mad and showing out, ain't asking we take it. Ain't asking we take it. Don't know what he about, how we going out, showed up unannounced, mad and showing out, ain't asking we take it. Ain't asking we take it. Y'all know what he about, how we going out, showed up unannounced, mad and showing out, ain't asking we take it.
Oh no, them a bring that shit. Jamaica lunatic sound so sick. Blast them by the better ass. 10 cent 5 minutes after them cash. Winnipeg, University, Red planted, no head, God no bread. That's a me cocky, but the drive stop it, chop it, back, but walk it, talk it. Over and out, and run off the overdrive, want to get this out. Why the bouncer kick me out? And she start the light, try to let me out. Nobody not kick me out, flick me out, shit me out. The last answer to get me out. I do the time for the crime and the money of mine. I can't banana, everybody know me sign. This man a life, never fight for the mic. Why you dirty boy? Who never ride a bike higher than a damn cat? Which dirty boy want that tonight? Walk up, test me, bless me. The Jamaican, they call it fresh. No matter what you do, yes. Impress me, sure. You a liar, burn the fire. You top like informer wire. Call me Shire, aya. You smell like blood clot, burn up tire. You a liar, burn the fire. You top like informer wire. Call me Shire, aya. You smell like blood clot, burn up tire. Yeah, tough dumpling in the house. Don't know. I can't banana style.
Yeah, Len, we out.
Peace. No, I'm good. I sure hope you're
I literally have one mezzanine right now.
Not what I thought this moment would feel or look like, but I'm glad I made it. Thankful for everyone I came across on this journey. Means a lot. Nothing for granted. Almost home. Let's get into it. Got on Nina Simone, feeling good, it's a new day. Blow tomorrow, anything you do or say, the new wave. Pledge to myself, promise wouldn't break. Couldn't talk me off the ledge, took a leap of faith. Heard was the stretch goals I'm reaching for. Well, if it ain't to be the best, what else I be here for? My life scanning all the pieces on the chessboard. Always make sure my best move when I step forward. The one who wind up like could've been, should've been, would've been. Wanna see you do well, but not as good as them. Saw the hunger in a youngster, they took him in. Everything clear from the outside, looking in. Can't buckle before they latch on. Know you gotta leave, get your rap and come back before they catch on. Didn't know what I was walking into. Vultures hovering, careful what they talk you into. Saying no strings attached, what they got you into. Lips moving fast, tongue sharp as Ginsu. They was in this camp, now this corner. Became a lone soldier, chapped hands with no closure. More calm, cool, collected than he ever been. It's no sweat, still brought the heat he said he bring. Better respect every second, minute, hour. Nowadays, lucky if you live to get your flowers.
Lucky if you live to get your flowers.
From the complex to the hills, mama. Used to do it for the thrills, mama.
Had a man up in the house, but I long for my real father. Still chasing these dreams. Shit is smoking mirrors, nothing what it seems. Heart of a line, this knowing they can compete. They tell me see you at the top, but I know we'll never meet. Yeah, but I know we'll never meet, cause I know it's meant for me. His truth gon' set her free.